Time, Coach Guidry, would like to get an opening statement from you on the upcoming season.
Appreciate it. Good evening. It's good to be up here, finally get up here. I know we're coming down the home stretch now. I know y'all ready to go. If any of y'all don't understand what I'm saying because of my Cajun accent, I have an interpreter here today. Mr. Alex Hickey he knows Guidry, so he knows the language that's coming out of my mouth, but it's just good to be here. Coach Viator, of course, was here for 17 years, 9 or 10 years as the head coach. He continued the tradition and the history of winning at McNeese, and before he left, he put McNeese back on top. So it's up to us to continue that. We're going into a new era, so I'm the new kid on the block, so say, but I'm really not new. I'm old, and most of my staff are old Cowboys as well. I was going through it the other day, and since 1990, basically the last 25 years of McNeese football, we have 11 conference championships. Out of those 11 conference championships, in that period of time, there's a representative of every conference championship on our staff. There's a coach that was affiliated either as a player or as a coach. So I think that's important at McNeese that we continue to do that we keep promoting from within, from Bobby Kiesler in 1990 to Kirby Brookhouse to Tommy Tate to Matt Viator, and then, of course, now to me. So I think that's the reason why we are successful. The other reason why is guys like this on each side of me, Kent Shelby and Zach Hetrick, who are preseason all-conference. It's just preseason, but good players, and that's what makes McNeese special.
Kent, if you'd like to give an opening statement about your thoughts about the upcoming season.
Well, it's going to be a great season. Like I said from last year, we had a 10-0 record, but we go through it every single day, and we're still humble and we're still hungry. We want more, and it's a brotherhood together as a family, and I try to lead as possible to bring my teammates together because we don't want that feeling we had last year. But as far as this upcoming season, I'm excited, I'm prepared, and I'm just ready to get it rolling.
Zach, thoughts on the season?
Just to echo with what Kent said, we're really excited. All the work we've put in over the summer and in the spring, getting to hit a little bit in the spring. It's just a taste, and this media day here is just one more step closer to getting on the field and getting it started.
Okay, we do have wireless mics on the floor, so if you have a question, please raise your hand and state your name and news agency.
Hello, I'm Kanan Caldwell with The Advocate. Y'all were third in the conference in scoring. What more can we see from that from both individuals? What do you expect from Kent? What do you expect from Zach for next season as individuals?
Well, I think it starts with the way we prepare and the way we practice. We're trying to be more physical at practice, and we want the same attitude throughout the whole team, so we want to be aggressive. We're still going to be a run-oriented offense, but we have the capability of having some outlets throwing the football now. A lot more of the game's going to be in the quarterback's hands, and with these two guys, Zach and Ken, we can give them the ball at any time. But we want to be physical, no matter if we run or throw. So we want to take it to the defense offensively, and I think it'll be a little bit more wide open than it has been in the past. It's not going to be dictated by the call, but more it'll be in the quarterback's hands a little bit more.
I see Morrell, Port Arthur News. Coach, I remember you taking over as the interim head coach for a bowl game for Miami of Ohio back in 2010, and I think you guys won that game. How much do you draw back on that experience, leading a major, the FBS football team, to a bowl victory in your day-to-day dealings with this football team here at McNeese State, although, you're a former McNeese football player?
Best thing ever happened to me was leaving. When I left, I worked for Coach Haywood, who I knew because he had recruited a kid by the name of Cecil Collins when I was an assistant coach at Leesville, and he told me that if he ever got the head job that he'd hire me as a secondary guy, and he did. I went up there, and I didn't know anybody really but him, and I had to do things a little bit different than what I was used to at McNeese. And when you work for people that you don't know, and you have to do things a certain way, you open up your mind to different things. Whereas at McNeese, we'd go visit people, and we come back. If it didn't work, we would just throw it out and go right back to what we've always done. And when you do the same thing that you've always done, you're going to get the same result, which hadn't been a bad result. But I learned a lot as a head coach by being under Coach Haywood. So when I got the experience of being the interim head coach and being able to deal with the media and take a team, because it's probably about 6 weeks. We had a late bowl. And, of course, Coach Haywood ended up losing the job at Pitt, and then we had coaches that wasn't going to have jobs. The kids were going to have another coach. So it was kind of chaotic, to tell you the truth. And but we finished off the season well. We won the bowl game, created history. You know, had the biggest turnaround in the history of college football. And it was a great experience. It was really good for me, and I'll never forget that moment.
Lance, you talked about having the ball, I guess the decision-making more in the quarterback's hands this fall. When will we know who that quarterback is going to be?
Well, we're going to go through fall camp. Ashcraft is the starter. Joe Lassard is second. And transfer James Tabery is coming in. He'll be in the mix at the third team. And we're going to, every day, we're going to compete. And at the end of fall camp, we're going to decide on a guy, and that's the guy we're going to ride with. Of course, if somebody's struggling in the game, it's nice to know that we have other guys that are capable, but we're not going to play two quarterbacks. We'll play one guy, and it's a quarterback competition. It's not a controversy.
Kent and Zach, you know, what did you see in the spring from the offense that feels a little bit different with what Coach Hafer is doing as the offensive coordinator?
Well, first of all, it's a little bit more open, and I like how the quarterback has a lot of freedom to basically change some stuff up. As far as, you know, if he doesn't like what he sees on the field, as far as with me or Zach, he can audible it to us. And I just like the way how physical we are and how we coming as an offense. Last year, you know, it was okay, but this year, as looking at it from last year, we needed to improve on something. So basically, we need to get on each other more and more, so that criticize one another. And I just like the offense. I'm gonna put it like that.
I feel the same way. Like you said, putting it in the quarterback's hands. Like we're on the field, we know what's going on. We see what every play, how it's breaking down. It lets us dictate what plays need to be called and what we see as matchups. So whether it be run more, pass more, offense is our offense, and we're going to make it work.
Kanan again. Oh, my bad.
Okay, appreciate it. Ken, just real fast, you know, for all the success that you had during the regular season, of course, Sam Houston State beat you guys to end the season. I know that hasn't eaten away at you guys, but talk about how much that stays on you guys' minds through the off season.
Well, first of all, it falls on me. Like I said, I could have did a better job and ran faster, I guess, to go score. But we talk about it every single day through the team-wise, and I always tell them I'm sorry for it and stuff like that. But it's all to do is motivate me to go harder and go extra, because what I didn't do last year probably was the reason why I didn't get in that end zone. So basically, I try to step my grinding up in the off season and still doing it more and more. And like I said, I just talk about it and I watch it on YouTube every single day on what I could have did. But it's still in the back of our heads, and we still got revenge coming.
Kanan the Cowboy again. You guys had the #1 defense last year. Should we expect that again, or is there any new additions that you guys implemented this offseason that we can expect for this upcoming season with that defense?
Well, I wanted to hire a guy that was similar to me, but was kind of his own guy. Tommy Restivo was the defensive coordinator at South Carolina State, which they led, I think, 7 or 8 categories. They were in the top 10 in the nation, just like we were. He comes from a good bloodline. He was at University of Florida. He was a GA for Charlie Strong when he was there under Urban Meyer. And then, of course, Charlie Strong became the head coach at Louisville, and Tommy became the safeties coach for him. When Coach Strong took the job at Texas, He couldn't take everybody, just like a lot of times in college football, and Tommy kind of got left behind, and he ended up at South Carolina State. So I got a chance to visit with him when I was at Western Kentucky as a defense coordinator. We went visit Louisville, so I met him then. I saw the way he coached. He coached hard, and just really like where we're going at on defense. Going to be similar. I mean, we're still going to bring some pressure. We're going to play a lot of man-free, but third down is probably where we changed up the most. He's got a different philosophy, not a bad philosophy. It's just different. So we'll have a little bit more exotic stuff, which is really good. But I got to let him be him too. I can't be micromanaging all my coaches because I need to be the head coach.
Lance, I find it interesting. Kent talks about not getting the 1 yard when obviously usually you're going to take it first and goal at the one anytime. But do you think that kind of accountability exists throughout this whole team? Guys saying, yeah, I could have made one play or something. Is Kent kind of exemplar of this team as a whole, the attitude of these players, you feel? Well,
the first meeting I had with him, I talked about each element in that game. We had either missed the extra point or got one blocked. Ken, of course, had a great run. He got to the 1 yard line and he got tackled. We had the ball first and goal on the 1 yard line, and we went backwards all the way to the 40-something yard line. We had to end up punting. We punted, and we had them 3rd and 8, and we didn't get off the field defensively to give our offense another chance. So everybody had their hand in it. We were evenly matched. I thought us and Sam Houston, we got them the first time. When you play them again and two teams are evenly matched, usually the tipping of the hat goes to the other team because they're going to change up some things they did. They played 2 quarterbacks instead of 1, and that kid did a great job coming in. And we still had our chances to win at the end. I don't think we played as good as we could have, but Coach Keeler probably thought the first time we played that they didn't play as well as they should have. So that's what's so good about this conference. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day.
I guess the biggest question mark is you had a very experienced offensive line last year, and that going into camp is going to be, finding replacements will be the challenge. Where do you think you stand as you go into August?
Well, I thought this spring we had a lot of guys grow up. Of course, they went against a very, very good defensive front this spring, and I think that they got better and better. We was able to run the ball a little bit on our defense, which was good, and I think they'll be better this fall. We may have a couple late additions that'll get here in about a week, which will help with some depth at offensive line. But we're going to continue going forward. We signed 5 high school guys, and we might have to play a couple of them. Coach Nagavi, our O-line coach, does a great job. He's going to build confidence. We added a couple wide receivers over the summer. That's probably going to take a lot of pressure off of our offensive line, so we don't have to run the ball as much. But I still want to run the football and be physical. But I think the wide receivers are going to make people maybe play a little bit more honest than loading the box all the time on us.
When you look around the league, what do you consider the deepest overall position at every, considering every team, every player? What do you think is the best position in the conference?
That's a good question. I think we got some good quarterbacks coming back this year. Nichols got a Figaro kid who's really athletic. UCA's got a quarterback that's coming back. He had to start a bunch of games. Lamar's quarterback I really liked, which we didn't get a chance to play against him. Of course, Sam Houston got a really good quarterback. Stephen F. Austin, Coach Conk's son, was beat up last year a little bit, and he's going to be coming back healthy. So I think we have a strong league of quarterbacks this year. And I think we have a good quarterback, whoever it may be, at McNeese. We've got some good competition, so it could be the quarterback.
And then another question I want to ask is nationally, there's some talk now about eliminating the kickoff. That's been an area of strength for this team the past couple of years. What are your thoughts as a coach on that discussion and where it's going?
I think it depends who you're asking. If you got a good kick returner, then you don't want it taken out. If you got a bad kicker that can't kick it in the end zone, or you don't have the cover guys, then you don't want to kick off. So I don't know. It's a game of football. Football is physical. It's never going to change. We can take the helmet out of it, the headgear out of the game like we're trying to do, but it's still going to be a physical sport. They keep manipulating rules, but I don't see getting rid of kickoff. I mean, it's part of the game.